All right, cool. So, welcome everybody to the iGET National Call for information on the J-1 visa. Woo! Yeah!
Woo!
The most exciting thing all
Wow, you
day.
guys are so excited.
Riveting at 9:30.
Can't wait to learn about visas.
If I can have energy, you can have energy, all right? So I'll get started. Let me just share my screen. Cool. Can everybody see the presentation?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Awesome. Like I said, we're going to talk about the J-1 visa today. Woo! Yay! It's so great! Yay! Oh my god!
Live, love, international life. Retweet.
All right. So, like I said, I'll do my little introduction. My name is Dylan McDonough. I'm 22 years old. I've been in iSIC for 2 years now. I'm currently the LCVP OGET of iSIC New York City. I did an exchange in mainland of China. I am on the OGET NST as a Tier 3 network manager. And the reason why I'm really here today for this call is I am the current AD assistant, helping out Vinny in the national office for
Woo!
the processing needs.
Congrats, since I didn't
Oh,
say
thank
it
you.
before.
Thank you very much. So today, like I said, this call isn't going to be too long. We're only going to talk about two major topics. One is going to be about the J-1. We'll talk about the basics and any eligibility requirements for those. And then we'll talk a little bit more about iSIC and its relationship with the U.S. Department of State and what it means to be a sponsor and what the requirements of that is. So let's talk about the J-1 visa.
Dude,
Hey.
I quit.
I'm just trying to make sure you guys have a little fun this late at night. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Oh, guy.
I expected better.
Yeah, it's really subpar.
All right, so what's the J-1 visa? The J-1 visa, or known as the exchange visitor, it would be the J, is a non-immigrant visa category for individuals approved to participate in a work and study-based exchange program. So pretty simple understanding. It's anybody who's coming here to do any sort of work or study exchange related program. So the two programs that we're going to talk about today are the two programs that iSIC is actually a J-1 visa sponsor for. There are a lot more programs than this. I believe there's about 10, maybe 12 different programs under the J-1 umbrella. But the two that we really need to talk about are the intern program and the trainee program. Those numbers right there are the program category numbers. If you don't know them now, you will know them when you start getting those EPs approved, and you need to get their visa approved because those will be in a lot of the application sheets. Anyway, now what are these programs? The intern program is designed to allow foreign college students or university students or recent graduates to come to the U.S. to gain exposure not only to the U.S. culture, but to also get hands-on experience in like U.S. business practices. The trainee is slightly different, and this is designed more for foreign professionals to come to the United States to gain exposure to the culture and the business practices as well in their existing occupational field. So the main difference is the intern program is designed for students, and the trainee program is designed for people who are already in the field of work. Some of the requirements for the EPs. For the internship, they must be currently enrolled as a full-time student in university or have graduated from a university within the past 12 months. To be eligible for a traineeship, you need to be graduated, have already graduated from your university and have at least 12 months of full-time work experience. Any part-time experience just won't do. We'll need to have full-time and proof that they were working the equivalent of full-time in that field. If they're enrolled in school while they're working, we need letters from the employer just to verify that they were actually doing that because, you know, it's kind of difficult to do that. I don't know if anybody here has, but I've tried it. I almost died. Not even joking. Similar requirements for the host company. For the intern and trainee programs, the host company here that's taking the interns or trainees actually has basically the same responsibilities, whether it's an intern visa or a trainee visa. So they must abide by all federal, state, local occupational health and safety laws. That's basically just a simple one, follow the laws. And any sponsor regulations that are given out. So any specific iSIC related in this case, any iSIC regulations, they must follow that as well. They also must have sufficient resources, plant, equipment, and trained personnel available. If you aren't aware, a company can only take one J-1 participant for every 5 regular employees. So they need to have the right amount of personnel in order to be able to take in one or multiple participants. They also need to provide continuous on-site supervision and mentoring experience through a knowledgeable staff. And they need to ensure that the intern gains skills, knowledge, competencies through structured and guided activities. The main purpose of that is that it's not just a vacation and somebody is coming here and kind of working a little bit. They're actually a productive member of the team, and the business itself is committing to helping this person develop, not just while they're there working for the company, but give them skills and knowledge that they can even take back when they go back to their home country. So that's just the very basics of the J-1 visa. There's more information on the website for the J-1, which I'll provide later. But does anybody have any questions right now about that?
Yeah, what visa do we use for GE? Or do we not use one?
GE is the B1, I believe it is, visa. That one, I know that we're still working on the actual logistics of how we're going to work that one out, because obviously GE hasn't been huge yet in the United States. So yeah, we're going to use the B1. You can find all of that information on the government website, on the Department of State website. You can just Google it for a little bit more information there. I'm sure Vinny has some more planned education on those, especially for the LCs who are selected to run iGE.
Another point about the B1 visa is that it's basically the same thing. They have to go to the consulate on their own and apply for it.
Mm-hmm.
The only main difference is that iSIC US does not support them in getting their visa. So for J1, we provide them with a support letter, and the company provides them with all that and everything. But for B1, they have to go and do it on their own, and we don't provide any of that kind of information for them.
Mm-hmm. And there are also different restrictions and requirements for the B1. For example, I believe that there isn't a specific requirement in terms of education level, education standing. You know how the internship requires you to be a current student? I don't believe there's that requirement with the B1. So there are a few differences in terms of that, but yeah. Any other questions? I mean, I can't see you guys' faces, so if you guys are just shaking your head.
No.
All right, cool. So now we're going to talk about iSIC and the U.S. Department of State. If you didn't know, that's what DOS stands for. So yeah. So what does it mean to be a sponsor? Not everyone can bring in an exchange visitor. Only State Department designated sponsors are authorized to issue certificate of eligibility for an exchange visitor under the J-1 visa. Being a sponsor is a relatively important distinction. Only 1 out of 95 organizations in all of the US are allowed to bring in J-1 interns, and only 92 are allowed to bring in J-1 trainees. So iSIC is one of these 95 or 92 organizations. So this is basically why our TN takers need iSIC to bring in REPs. There are huge companies, for example, Georgia Tech is working with UPS, as I'm sure everybody knows. And huge companies like UPS don't have this this certification to be able to actually bring in exchange visitors under the J-1. So it is kind of like a relatively important and prestigious distinction that we're able to do that because it's not like anybody can just, it's not like everybody has that. The requirements of the sponsor are like the organization must demonstrate an ability to comply and remain continual in compliance with all the provisions under the J-1 like visitor program and to meet all of the regulation and financial obligations listed under the responsibilities on the Department of State website. So there's a few listed out, but it basically just says that the organization needs to make sure that they will follow through with all of the rules and anything in accordance with the J-1 rules and regulations. Some of the requirements of a sponsor. So I'm not going to go through with all of these. These are just some of the main things. So you can see like how serious this actually is in order to be a sponsor. You need to be able to follow through with all of these different points. And you can see at the bottom there's further program category requirements. This basically means that these are the general requirements for any J-1 visa to be able to be a sponsor. And there's even more for the specific program. So interns and trainees, there are even more requirements listed just for them. So as you can see, it's very important that we're able to follow through with all of these. Why do you guys need to know this? What's the point for having this call? Well, being a J-1 visa sponsor can add credibility to iSIC as an organization. Just really quickly, like you can leverage it in a sales meeting. And you could say something like the US government only trusts less than 100 organizations to bring its participants, and iSIC is one of them. It really will let the company or organization that you're working with know that iSIC is a serious entity, and we've been working on this for a while, and that we even have the backing of the US Department of State. And I don't know if you guys have heard, but the US government is kind of a big deal. Secondly, this one is kind of more serious. We need to follow these exact guidelines laid out by the Department of State to maintain that sponsor status. So anytime you guys are submitting any applications or helping a EP to try to get their visa, it's going to be sent through me as the AD assistant. I will be like feedbacking what you have and what you don't have in the package and what else will get it. I promise you, I'm not doing this just to be mean to you and to make your day worse by telling you that you need to add this, this, and that. But we actually really need to follow through these guidelines, because if the Department of State finds out that we're bringing people in wrongfully, if we're bending the rules or anything and bringing in anybody who may not fully qualify, our status as a sponsor could be revoked. And if that happens, iGET as a whole wouldn't be able to operate in the US. So these guidelines are placed out for a reason, and if you feel that we're being a little bit difficult or nitpicky with you, it's because we really need to do this because of the level of importance and the magnitude of what could happen if we were not able to follow through on that. Any questions on what it means to be a sponsor and our relationship with the US Department of State? No? All right, well, I told you guys that it was going to be a relatively short meeting. That's all I had. For more information, you can find it at this website right here, j1visa.state.gov. That has all the information for participants, for sponsors, as well as host companies. You can learn more about the different programs. Intern and trainee are the ones that we work with. If you want to learn more about what's required to bring in somebody as an au pair, go for it. That's your own prerogative. But yeah, so you can find more information right there. Feel free to reach out to Vinny. You can reach him here. Look at him. Doesn't he look beautiful in that suit? Oh, man. And yeah, other than that, love to talk to you guys soon. Does anybody have any questions, any sort of conversations that we want to have? We can have a little bit of a open, as the OGX teams like to call it, a little water cooler where we can discuss anything that you're dealing with right now. I'm going to go back so I can see people. Whoa. Yeah. So if anybody has anything else. Let's see. Looks like that was a while ago. I'm sorry, I couldn't see the chat while I was presenting. And yeah, they answered that correctly. The sponsor is actually iSIC, and the hosting company would be the or the host entity would be the company that we were talking to. Let's see, what else? In terms of insurance, I believe it is just required that we, I believe it's just required that we set up an insurance with the EP to make sure that they have insurance when they're coming in. I don't believe we provide it. Give me 1 second, and I can actually look that up for you right now.
We do insurance and the J-1 visa fees. iSIC do that.
Mm-hmm. So there's actually this page right here. I'll send it the link right here.
Do we provide the insurance through ISOS?
There you go. That is the link, and that will have all the information. You can hit the insurance button, and it will show what exactly that it is. ISOS actually isn't a insurance agency, so no.
Wait, don't we do that for OGX?
No, again, ISOS isn't the insurance agency, so for OGX, we require that people sign up for ISOS, but ISOS is a free service unless you need to use it. Then it would be paid for by the insurance company, and they're the people that would, like, if something goes drastically wrong, they would, like, for example, like, they'd be the ones coming out with helicopters to save you in the event of, like, a natural disaster.
Oh, so we don't even have an insurance company partner yet.
Well,
I do, when I do on Podio, I found this. Can you guys look at this and let me know, because I'm pretty confused. Because they do upload a package of this insurance company that work with iSIC. So that's why I'm asking, because I'm not clear about the insurance part.
Is
mhm.
it
Because some we say that we cover insurance for them, so the company don't have to worry about the insurance. So do you remember in the price range that we say insurance included? Yeah.
Yeah, so Seven Corners, the partner that iSIC has worked with, I mean, even with, even for our OGX, Seven Corners is the partner that we've always kind of worked with. In terms of if this is still the current plan, I would assume so because it's still left up, but it is kind of old. It was created 4 years ago. We can follow up with Vinny.
Okay.
That, though.
But insurance is just for J1, not B1, right?
Right, yeah, so for B1, we don't provide them anything for the intern. Ideally, of course, the company would cover housing and stuff like that, but in terms of sponsoring for visas or insurance or anything related to that kind of area, we don't, iSIC doesn't do anything for B1, for like GE interns.
Any other questions, whether it's about the J1 or about any other burning questions that you've had? I mean, this is just a great space to be able to share ideas and answer questions with each other also.
Can we get your phone number?
My phone number? Yeah, of course.
Digits.
I'll type it in the chat. You can feel free to text me with any issues or anytime you upload like a application. I'm cool with Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp. I literally have like any sort of communication.
Except for iMessage. Be warned, it's an Android.
I don't have
Be warned.
iMessage.
Oh my god, that laugh, Mike.
Yeah, whatever,
It was
Mike.
important.
I'm judging.
Alright, cool.
Honestly, for me, I would prefer any sort of instant message as opposed to like the Podio updates. I'll still give you, if I see a package, I'll still give you all of the updates on Podio. But I know that I personally would respond much quicker to a Facebook, WhatsApp, or a text. So yeah, feel free to message me there. Cool. Anything else? All right. If that's it, I'm going to stop the broadcast and you can feel free to leave. Thank you guys for showing up. I know it wasn't the longest, and I also want to say thank you to everybody for contributing, helping to answer questions as well. Yeah, have a good one, guys.
Lit.
Thank you.